This is the one with lubed-up wrists,
tear away paper calendars,
lazy mud wrestling,
and a guardian of the galaxy.
It's called Colony in Space. Here we go. We're embarking on a voyage all through time and all through space,
counting Daleks, Thalan, Ood, and the Cybertronic race.
Sontarans look like taters and Silurians all have wonky scales.
And the Doctor has a TARDIS, we're reviewing all his tales. Who back when? Reviewing all of who there is. Who back when?
Subscribe and rate on iTunes, please.
Episode by episode, we're trudging down this temporal road. Come join us on this odyssey. What other choice could there be than Who back when?
Who back when? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Who Back When, a Doctor Who podcast.
Or Doc Past.
That's right. That gorgeously seductive baritone that you just heard was none other than Nick. Hello, Nick.
Hey, how you doing, podcast land?
Hello, hello. And I am Ponkin, and today we are sitting down to discuss C058, Colony in Space.
In Space?
Colony in Space. How appropriate did you think this title was? Given that they often go into outer space and they they encounter colonies all the time. I feel like...
I guess, yeah, it depends what you count as a colony. But yes, they are constantly in space.
Yeah.
But then I guess we're in space now.
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, it's not entirely inappropriate. But it is a title that is applicable to like half of Doctor Who.
That's true, and also the least inspired. But then maybe I kind of like that, because like spearheading from space meant...
Arc in space.
What the fuck? Like, so yeah,
the wheel in space.
I'll take Colony in Space. That's fine.
It was also novelized as Doctor Who and The Doomsday Weapon.
Much better.
Much more, yeah, certainly a catchier title. But The Doomsday Weapon only really covers a part of this.
It goes the first line. 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the last...
Enough episodes for everyone to forget that there was a Doomsday Weapon.
And then there's a Doomsday Weapon. And then...
the end.
Yeah, then a Cabbage Patch doll says, hey, we should get into that.
We're going to get to that, yeah. All right, so let's summarize this serial for everyone who hasn't yet watched it. Time for us to synopsize,
clarify and summarize.
So take a view
and grab a brew
and listen to this overview, this free-for-all.
We like to call a bite-sized chunk of Who. Bite-sized chunk of Who.
Doc is temporarily unexiled, and Joe, as his stowaway, accompanies him to the unremarkable planet of Urax. You can do it. Uxarius. Sure. In the year 2472, where a band of ineffectual human colonists, after fleeing an overpopulated and dying Earth, failed to make things work on yet another planet.
The space colonists, and by proxy Doc and Joe, face multiple obstacles, partly in their encounters with the indigenous Uxarians, or primitives, occasionally with an alleged giant iguana, and last but not least, when an Earth spaceship from the Intergalactic Mining Company arrives, toting rifles and laying claim to the planet for themselves. Beescow over.
You are welcome.
Aren't you just? So that's pretty much what this is about.
Yeah,
Where do you want to start? Do you like this?
No, I'm going to start at the end.
Okay.
Start at the end with the Cabbage Patch doll that we alluded to in the run-up to the podcast. So
slightly offensive, but that's okay.
Super. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to call it offensive because it was like they're an alien race, right?
So?
I don't know. They're weird.
What the fuck, man?
I don't know.
At some point in the future, aliens are going to listen to this recording and they're going to go, well, I mean, the humans were just speciesist. That's ridiculous.
No, I mean that.
Don't pull over. Don't pull over, Grablork 7.
What was offensive about it? Was it that he was...
No, I don't know. That he looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid. He's...
It's going to be a long 40 years of this. If you're picking holes at like Cabbage Patch dolls.
I'm sorry.
It was fucking weird though, and the voice was weird. But no, the thing that really got me, the ring that made me almost shut my computer, was like, will you please operate the self-destruct mechanism? Why, yes, I'd be glad. Thank you. You know, that's very big of you, and the justice, is preserved on this earth. Is it this lever? No. Is it this one?
Yes. Yeah.
That's it? That's your whole mechanism? One lever on the central console.
And they're not marked in any way.
Yeah, you have to divine it. And it's just a pull back. It's not like a pull back, forward, back, left, right, you know, A, B, X.
Two people with synchronized key movements. No.
It's just pulled backwards, and this whole fucking thing comes down, and everyone in it.
Also, I love that nodding and shaking your head means the same to this chap.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't say it. He just like, no, shake your head. No, it's not this one. No. Is this one? Yeah, nodding. And that's it.
That's literally just it. And that's where if I had a thing with this cereal, it fucking died. It self-destructed.
It didn't even dawn on me until shortly thereafter that the guy, I mean, I'm struggling not to call him Mini-Me, this individual...
The Guardian.
The Guardian, yeah, thank you. Sacrifices that entire species, right? Because the whole species lives in, I mean, ostensibly a cave. One cave. No. And this thing blows up the entire cave.
This is where I'm all fucked up. So there's Yuxarians, the primitives.
Yeah.
Right? And then there is the Guardian style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all Yuxarians,
They're all
right?
Yuxarians. But this particular branch of Yuxarians.
Yeah.
Like that. But he was all sort of small and withered and stuff. And then he talks about radiation. Is that what that did to him? Or is that just his life?
Yes. It wasn't it? The radiation regressed them. It began the regression.
It decayed them.
Yeah.
It's not fully understood, but like, is that physiological or is that just generally, I mean, it has to be physiological, presumably.
I love how sudden it was as well, just based on the cave painting chronology. Because there's that scene where the Doc and the Master, they're looking at these cave paintings. They're just like this comic strip of their entire history.
Which was actually very cool.
It is very cool, but frame 1, everyone's got a computer. Frame 2, the young Yuxarian kids are listening to music on their iPods. Frame 3, like barely scratching out the silhouette of a person. Like, how suddenly did this happen? Like, or how seldom do you draw new frames?
It's the gangster rap.
What?
The kids listening to the iPods. They did that. Then they created a doomsday device that would murder everyone in the galaxy.
Does the Guardian sacrifice the entire Yuxarian civilization?
Well, no, because they catch some in the hallway. I'm like, you stupid people, come this way.
So just a few of the stupid ones, they survive, and they are now going to clearly become the slaves of the surviving human colonists.
Possibly, unless there were more in other places in the planet, and this is just where they hamster food.
Actually, that's a super good point.
City.
Yes, that's a super good point, which leads me to a question. Something that I didn't quite get in this serial. Were there multiple colonies?
There was at least 2, or... There was the potential for at least 2. There was one genuine one, and someone said, there's another one.
Yeah, one dude just showed up who was clearly working for the mining company, and he claimed to be from a different colony. Everyone took his word for it.
Which, sort of, how big is that planet? It must be really big, I guess.
It's a planet.
Yeah.
It's not like Tiny Planet from Rick and Morty. It's a planet. Surely the miners could be on one side of it, and the colonists, like, why does everyone have to land in the same place?
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Star Trek.
So why don't the miners go like, so if we're here in England, why don't they just fuck off to Australia, mine the shit out of the planet, and we will never know.
Exactly.
Until it's way too late.
Exactly. But it's that Star Trek trope of, we're going to go down to the planet, meet you there, and everyone goes to the exact same town, you know?
Fancy seeing you here. No, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, this is where the Primitives and the Senate is? Excellent. You know, everything happens it's the same. Oh, God damn it. What was the dealio with the tier 2 Yuxarians? Because you have the one chap who's the Guardian, and it may just be one chap.
There was another chap that looked like that chap.
Oh, now I'm being racist.
Taller in the scene when everything self-destructs. So there's the primitive Yuxarians that we saw through. They were sort of more locky when they, and then there was this one guy.
Then there were the brain guys.
Yeah, it was a cape with a brain guy.
And then there was the Guardian chap who's like lives in a little cupboard in the.
But I think the Guardian chap is the same as the brain chaps.
I don't think so, because the Guardian chap can speak and the brain chaps can't. I don't think that was telepathy. I think that was like the guy just spoke English.
Big Coronation Street fan. He's just been beaming them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We already saw he's got the TV on the wall.
Yeah. Okay, I don't get it.
I think there are 3 of them. So at one point, let me see if I can find this note. At one point, I wrote this down just because I wasn't entirely sure. This is into episode 2, and I'm not entirely sure what's going on at this point. So I'm writing that. I wrote down. So are there 2 sets of colonists, 4 sets of aliens, and a mining company? But it turns out there were actually just 3 sets of aliens.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
And a partridge in a pear tree. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So how did you feel about the colony and the colonists?
I mean, they are so disorganized.
Yes. Although, after many months of toiling and, ill nourishment and stuff, you look a bit fucked up.
I
sort of bought that.
Sure, fine. However, we only get to meet a handful of them, really. There seems to be quite a few of them, but we only get to meet a handful properly. And it seems as though there's no method of government there. Like, there's one guy who's in charge, who's the captain. He was the pilot. And I can't remember his name now. Ash. And he just calls the shots, but he calls the shots against everyone's advice, but everyone just follows him. But it's not a dictatorship. It's just like, it follows certain democratic rules and then entirely disregards others.
Presume that's what sort of happened with the pilgrims and shit, right? Like, they got
the captain is in charge.
Yeah, the captain's in charge until such a time that there's, like, a sustainable amount of stuff for governance, because, like, you do just need one person to go over there, do that, go, you know, like, I again, bought that. That wasn't an issue for me. A couple of things that were more about conceptual and the writing aspect is that there's always a small civilization or a colony or whatever in space.
Yeah.
There's always a reluctant, well-meaning, but sort of emasculated leader.
Sure. Yeah, we've had that before.
And there's always a Starscream.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, but that's the only... You have to have a bad guy. Wait, so...
But he was not bad, though. This is the...
No. He's not... He's just a bad influence.
Yeah.
I mean, Actually, he ends up saving the day, in a way.
Yeah. But he's a Starscream. He's like, oh, God, if I was in charge...
Yeah,
you know,
and we get that all over the place.
All the time.
Here's a question for you in that case. Do you feel like maybe there were a tad too many Starscreams in this serial? Because / antagonists. So we have Starscream, the colonist Starscream. Yeah. Then we have Caldwell, who is with the mining company, but then stabs the mining company in the back. We have the mining company who's stabbing the colonists in the back. We have the mining company who's relying on the adjudicator, who turns out to be the master who's stabbing them in the back. They're using the adjudicator, whom they know is a fake, to stab the colonists in the back. And in the meantime, we have the Euxarians, who are threefold and who are just stabbing everyone in the back, except for the primitives, who just don't know any better. Is that not maybe a little bit too much going on?
It's very well put.
Right?
It's exactly right. I mean, the one thing I would take issue with is that I don't think that necessarily qualifies any or all of them as antagonists. There are too many antagonists.
Okay, not obstacles then.
Or at least, there's a lot of treachery, there's a lot of lines and politics and stuff, and you know, the sort of line of sight thing that I can see this, and there's dramatic irony, but no one else can see it, blah, blah, blah.
Drink
blah,
people.
Blah. What?
It's dramatic irony. We haven't had that drinking game in so long.
Oh, fine. Fuck you. It was true, though. But there absolutely are more antagonists because, once again, although there's a setup, colony, mining company, settlers that are struggling, rapacious corporate greed, right?
Yeah.
We know it's a tale as old as time. It's the North Dakota pipeline.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure.
Or Avatar.
Yeah. Pocahontas.
Right? Yeah. All of that. Yeah. It's all of the same trope, absolutely. Right? Where is
Avatar?
Yeah, Avatar.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Unobtainium.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Where the fuck is a master turn up in any of these very simple stories?
We were informed quite recently that the master actually appears in every single episode, serial of this season.
And although I was there and present and probably read it out, I forgot again.
Yeah.
And when he turned up, like, fuck you again.
I mean, they mention him in the beginning. They're like,
yes, they do. They do master it. But I thought,
yeah,
in that opening sequence, this is a longer tale. So this is kind of like an RTD. Here's a reference to the master and to Doomsday Device. It's a reference to the Doctor now having his, being the person that can help. Yeah. And we'll depart from this. And in a few serials' time, this will come off as a great payback, like a payoff. Or that this will have like a longer thread running through serials. But no, not happening.
No, not happening. We just need the master to return every single time and basically do the exact same spiel over and over again. I don't mind. I'm going to say that. I do not mind. I
mind.
I can see it getting a little tired and old in the long run. But I love Delgado. I think
Delgado is great, but he needs resting.
Oh, no, yes, okay. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. If we had a few episodes... Well, we did have a few episodes. If you had a few serials without the Delgado Master, and then all of a sudden he showed up again, yeah, I would have a rock-hard boner, but... This time, he does show up, and it's like, yeah, this is the Master season. I'm fine with that. It's the Master season.
Okay, I'll be fine. I'll be better if he starts to do different stuff.
He's not going to. I can almost guarantee that the next time is going to be the exact same shtick.
I'm here. I'm slightly murderous, but not too murderous, but I'm definitely duplicitous.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely going to team up with the Doctor towards the end of this. When we get that Act 3 crescendo, I'm going to realize that my allies are actually my foes, and now my worst enemy is actually my greatest friend and confidant and trustee. I'm not going to team up with that guy. This is exactly what happened this time. And then I'm going to leave laughing like a Scooby-Doo villain.
Okay, Master, I'll team up with you this time. Well, it's for the best. Why is your hand on my knee? They're so gonna fuck.
Or they have.
Or they have been.
Or the Master wants to. I mean, in episode 6, this is a 6-episode arc, by the way, ladies and gents. In episode 6, the Master offers Doc a half share of the universe. Quote.
Yes. A timeshare. Yeah. I'll have Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You have Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and we'll do alternate Sundays.
You do all the even time, I'll do all the uneven time. I mean, but the thing is, he doesn't need to. At that point, he doesn't even need to keep the Doctor alive. He doesn't even need a hostage. Because, I mean, what the fuck is he going to do? He knows exactly how to operate this machine.
Don't pull that lever. Yeah. Whatever the fuck he's doing.
Number 1, remove lever. But he doesn't need him, but he still keeps him alive, and then he still offers him a co-throne, you know. There is friendship and or love there.
There is love
there. There must be.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
I think so. And the other thing is that all of time and space, the Master, this is the one doomsday device of presumably multiple...
countless.
Yeah. Why you turned up again? Like, it's what we said last week. He's just in the bushes with a bottle of wine. Oh, you live here.
No, okay, in this case, I feel like the Master didn't expect to bump into the Doctor.
The Time Lords put him there.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Time Lords going, the Master stole our Euxarius plans. Whom are we going to send to fix this? I guess there's only one person we can send.
I mean...
We exiled him and everything, but fuck it, let's undo that entire plot.
So, up till now...
Yeah.
As a race of beings that seemingly control the traversing of space and time.
Yeah.
I like to get all that out of the way because the payoff's great, right? You are aware of this and presumably multiple other doomsdays.
Yeah.
Exactly where it is in space.
Yep.
Exactly where it is in time.
So far, so good. Why not just go there and disable them?
And pull the one lever that will be in your document. It's in your info pack that Delgado, the Master just wandered in, half-inched.
But isn't that what Delgado says? Doesn't the Master actually say something along the lines of, typical Time Lords, they know everything, but they do nothing?
Yeah.
It was a really nice way of just, encapsulating at the very least, this generation's Gallifreyan philosophy.
Yeah. But then they do send the Doctor to do things.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think maybe there's an element of giving him a chance to redeem himself, or this is part of his penitence? Now he has to clean up our mess. We let someone come and steal shit from us. Now...
I guess he's their space police. But then I probably think more likely that there's a Time Lord project manager called Stewart that is just shit.
Is it the Steward?
The Steward.
The Steward.
The Steward? Oh, nice. And he's supposed to, look after the getting rid of Doomsday Devices project, and he's just really far behind, and he's over budget.
He's flipping through the files. Yeah. He's like, wait. 56, 57, 59. Fuck, we're missing one.
Exactly that.
Which one is it? Oh, is it the one with the overweight people in spandex and loincloths? All right. Send the Doctor. It didn't dawn on me until quite late in the game that they were also wearing loincloths on top of their spandex. Meaning the spandex is their skin. That's what they look like.
Yes. Yeah, I see. No, I think I got that to begin with. But then, the Euxarians or the Primitives or whatever, they were in... That's the thing. It had everything it needed. There was a oppressed populace of Aboriginals.
Yeah.
There was settlers that were trying to work together, I guess, with these Aboriginals and some, but also were quite oppressive of their own regime. We had this rapacious corporate greed that wants to plunder and rape and pillage the land. We didn't need anything else.
You mean we didn't need the Master?
Didn't need the Master.
And we didn't need the Doomsday Device?
I didn't get it. There was no need.
No. But if you don't have the Doomsday Device, then you have no reason to have the Master there. Well,
quite.
And if you've signed a contract that gets Delgado in every single serial, then what else are you going to do?
Is that the case? Can we prove that?
I don't know. No, I mean, sorry, that was not... I'm not claiming that at all. That's just speculation. / I genuinely think that people liked him. I mean, I like him.
I like him too, but, this is getting lazy. Well, no, actually, no, it's not. That's the complete opposite. It's getting needlessly complicated. For some reason, they're like, hey, I've got this great serial, cool. One thing is missing.
That thing we always have.
Yeah. Can you just do a whole rewrite? And stick that mustachioed man in there.
Oh, I love his goatee.
The goatee of Delgado is amazing and timeless and iconic. As iconic as the pepper shaker.
The pepper pots, the Daleks, yeah.
But the other moustaches in this area, wow.
Oh, yes.
Porn stash of ash.
Yeah, all the colonists. That was one of my first thoughts as well. Was just like, oh, yeah. So you're saying this was filmed in the 70s? You know, everyone.
I would not like it. One of them enters like bow, 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 bow. Yeah, I've come to colonize.
Did you like the robot? The best robot ever.
I really did.
I loved him.
Do you know what it made me remind me of? Wotan.
Yeah. That robot is amazing. But how much better is he? I'm saying he, but how much better is that robot when they put the horrendously fake lizard hands on it? Isn't that just the best thing ever? And then they keep the hands in a special safe.
Lizard safe.
The lizard
This is the lizard safe. There's accounts payable over there. It's the lizard safe. Yeah. And their plans were sort of terrible. Like, we're going to scare people off by just land on a different continent and mine that one.
But that's the thing. Like, if they go elsewhere, they don't even have to go far. And it's not like their work isn't hampered by colonists being there.
Well, see, this is where a rewrite would have actually been good, because you could get rid of Delgado and the Doomsday device, but the ultimate peril could be that in the 25th century, mining means essentially destroying the planet, which is a Doomsday device for the people on the fucking
And
planet.
that would be the Doomsday device, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the interplay between the IMC and the colonists and the Xarians and Doctor being a mediator has genuine peril. There's like a countdown. You know, you have your countdown. It's going to split the Earth's crust, or the planet's crust, or whatever. Okay,
the thing is, I hear what you're saying, but the thing is, I feel like they did something very similar to that already, because they then plopped all of the colonists on the spaceship and said that you're going to die. We are going to win. We're going to start off this bureaucratic process. While that process is running, we're going to start mining. The mining will kill the planet, except they don't do it as dramatically as you just said. And then the apex of that is we're going to plop you on the rocket ship, which we all know is going to detonate.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You're all going to die.
That's terrible. I mean, my thing is probably more dramatic, but yeah, actually, yours, the thing they've done is fine. It's a perfectly dramatic and terrible thing to happen, to avoid. But everyone loves a big clock, don't they?
Yeah, everyone but Drew.
Everyone but Drew. Yeah.
I see your point, though. I mean, yeah, I quite like that's a good idea. I like that of having the IMC basically bring the apocalypse.
Bring the peril. Bring the pain.
I mean, here they have to share the pain with everyone else. Did you like Joe's fanny pack?
Yeah. I sort of liked Joe.
I like Joe except for one scene.
One scene specifically.
Oh, is it when... Wait, okay, should we say it at the same time?
I took a course in escapology.
Oh!
That was my thing.
Oh, that wasn't my thing.
What was your thing?
My thing was when they first arrived and she's like, oh, I'm going to open the doors. Oh, I want to go out. Oh, no, I want to go home. I want to go home.
No, that's fine. I guess there's a range of emotions when you go to an alien planet. Not everyone's just like, yay, great. I was all right with that, I think. I mean, it was a bit kind of crap, but
I didn't like it.
But the whole... yes, I once took a course in escapology. Why did you do that, Joe? No one teaches that course. It's like so, you're a sixth form, what you do? Maths is a good subject. Sociology, that's quite interesting. Escapology.
Yeah, okay, so it's fun that you should say that, because we got a comment on Facebook, on facebook.com/whobackwhen, all in one word, which, please, ladies and gentlemen of Podcast Land, please keep popping comments on Facebook. Please also pop comments on whobackwhen.com. But yeah, so this one came from Grant Smith. Grant!
How you doing, Grant?
Hello, Grant. Grant said, funny you mentioned Joe's age. This was about I can't remember which episode this was. Possibly, maybe the Auton ones? I want to say Auton ones. Anyway, he says, funny you mentioned Joe's age. Originally, she was meant to be 16, but they decided against a schoolgirl being in the army. It'll pop up a few times that she has had basic training and a talent for escapology.
Now, escapology.
Yeah.
It's like a magician thing, right?
Well, it's just being... Well, yeah, I mean, exactly.
That's not like a military discipline.
No, but
it's not like hand-to-hand combat over here. Here's like small arms training.
That's true. That's true, but, I mean, like, if you were to say Sergeant Benton, right? Benson.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he's maybe good at escapology? Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why
hell yeah.
Why would he be?
Because he's a unit badass. Obviously. Like, we're going to tie him up. No. There is no rope on Earth that can keep
is he gonna be like,
Benton down.
Yeah, but there was a key under my tongue the whole time. Like, that's
to unlock these ropes.
That's escapology. Like... That's like, you're caught in, like, I don't know, some sort of counter-intelligence.
Well, yeah, that's basically what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, she's good at MacGyvering her way out of sticky situations.
I like the idea that she's like, I just kept finding myself in handcuffs, just handcuffed to things.
Yeah. Also, I'm tremendously used to people just lubing up my wrists for whatever reason. So that's the first thing that springs to mind.
That's the sound. That's the best. Like, get some on my wrist.
Yeah. Pass me that tub of Vaseline.
Do you know what I would have loved to hear? Is that it's like, so we're tied to a bomb. And then Porn Stash goes, do you want to go out with a bang? Bow, chicka, bow, bow, bow. Yeah, that was a great mustache. Anyway.
That was a good mustache.
That was a good mustache.
So there was one mustache in particular who rang a massive bell for me. This is Caldwell, the IMC chap who then stabs the IMC in the back.
Quick Caldwell chat.
How
did you feel about Caldwell?
I mean, there were a number of occasions during the serial when I just went, oh, Caldwell, for God's sake, just make up your mind.
But there was one part where they were just like, you've killed 2 people. You're going to make this much money. Well, okay then, but no. He literally says, like, well, okay.
But there's also the threat of him being executed.
Yeah, that's later. But first, what turns up is just these outraged people who have been hurt.
They tell him, like, oh, we're going to make a pile of money. You're going to be filthy rich.
But what also, he was just like, look, I don't mind, scaring people and getting this. Like, so you don't mind making people, like, sort of essentially environmental refugees. That's fine. And then if they die subsequently, if they go to another inhabitable planet and they die, you're fine with that as an idea. You just don't want to see it. You just don't want to see it.
When he tells the colonists, your spaceship is completely fine, even though he knows that it will blow up on liftoff. I mean, when it then eventually does blow up, he feels really guilty.
This thing, his moral compass is all out of whack. Like, all of the things, like, well, I'm actually virtuous. I'm in a rock and a hard place. Like, no, you're not.
Well, here's the fun thing. We have encountered this chap before. Caldwell was played by Bernard Kay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Key or K? K, maybe. K-A-Y.
How's it spelled?
K-A-Y.
K-A-Y, yeah, K.
K. Bernard Kay. And we've encountered him in 3 different serials before.
Oh, shit.
He has 3 prior Doctor Who connections. He was, in chronological order, he played Carl Tyler in The Dalek Invasion of Earth. Not the version that we reviewed, the Cushing one. The actual original Hartnell version. I believe we refer to him as Tyler Durden in that one. Then he was Saladin in The Crusade.
Ooh.
And I remember when we reviewed The Crusade going, holy fuck, that's Tyler Durden! That is Tyler goddamn Durden! Anyway, and then he returns.
Did you make the remark of, you look like a Saladin?
He was in shameless BBC blackface.
Great.
As Saladin. Then he returned in The Faceless Ones, which is both a great and terrible serial. I now remember it quite fondly. I can't remember if I may have given it the worst rating ever, but I remember it very fondly. And he played 2 different characters in that one. He played Crossland. I want to say Detective Crossland. And, no, sorry, it says here actually Inspector Crossland. And the director.
Ooh.
It's like the evil head honcho. And now Colony in Space as Caldwell. And this is it. Now, that's it for Bernard Kay.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to raise my beaker for Bernard Kay. Yeah, I'm drinking pineapple juice in your honor, dude.
I'm going to keep mine where it is.
Yeah. Well, all right.
So, how were you at all annoyed that this was a temporary exile?
I don't quite get it. And more importantly, I don't quite get if the Doctor gets it. He very suddenly just goes, I fixed it. I fixed the whole thing. Maybe he did, by the way. I mean, we don't know. He steps into the TARDIS. Coincidentally, the Gallifreyans go, fuck it, pluck it, boom, doom, plopping you on this planet to run this errand for us, but we won't tell you what the errand is. We're just going to plop you on the same planet and hope that you solve our problem for us.
Do you think they have a way of exerting influence on him outside of the TARDIS? Some sort of like... So
I don't think so.
So that is just a tremendous coincidence.
Yeah, and then at the end, he gets back into the TARDIS. I'm going to assume that he willingly travels back to Earth, that he deliberately travels back to Earth, and that the Gallifreyans don't do it, because when they're back on Earth and he then steps out of the TARDIS, he doesn't go, oh, this is where they plopped me. Just goes, well,
do you know, Bagor says, Doctor, get back here right now.
Yeah.
And he turns
I
up.
like that, by the way.
I didn't like that at all.
No?
Well, again, tremendous coincidence that he was coming back at that point.
No. I mean I don't know. He or the Time Lords made him basically just dematerialize from one corner of the room, or in one corner of the room, and then rematerialize in the opposite corner of the room.
But there would have some sort of space between in terms of time for Bagels to notice he's missing and then say the words.
Yeah, seconds. That's the Doctor even says it at the end. He's like, yeah, well, as far as he's concerned, we've only been gone for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, cool.
So, and I like that. I like that the Bagels gets to say that one line that we then recognize in the final episode and go, no, of course, it's the same moment. That's fine with me. But what is not fine with me is that the Gallifreyans didn't... It was such a fucking gamble. Like, get your shit together, Time Lords.
Stuart.
Do you think you're going to get away with this, Stu?
Yeah.
On top of everything, we don't even know if the Doctor is aware of what just happened. I mean, he does say in the beginning, oh, it's the Time Lords, they're dematerializing us. But does he know why?
Well, okay, let's step out of the actual narrative.
Okay.
Think about the writing again for a second.
Okay.
So there were the whatever council, these three Time Lords turn up in a way that another Time Lord's turned up before and warned Doctor about the Master, or talked to him about the Master in the Terror of the Autons.
Yes, yeah. the chap in the bowler hat just floats in the air. Yeah.
So these three ones are like, oh, is this a device now? Are they going to send him on missions?
Yeah.
Like, is the next one going to start off with...
I don't know if the next one is, but we were also informed, I want to say on Facebook, that this is now going to be a recurring theme.
Sort of like Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, but dude, you wanted the Doctor to get into the TARDIS and travel to different...
Oh, I did, yeah, but of his own accord.
Yeah, okay. All right. But is it really that different from what we had before when the Doctor wasn't in control of it, really? Like, he would just step into it and the TARDIS would just go places.
Yeah, no, I get it. And, you know, absolutely, I'm too picky. I can't have it always. One thing I will say is that 6 episodes into the serial, it felt like a good length.
Yeah.
It felt like a good length.
I've been told that before, and yes, I agree with you. It's optimal. 4, which was the last one, right?
Yeah.
Was almost a little bit too short.
And the new Who's in comparison feel really short.
Oh, they really do.
So yeah, 2 hours worth. I was like, what's good about that, and I think we talked about this previously, is the ancillary characters get development. So Ash had development. He started off a bit Starscream, then he goes a bit Rambo, then he goes, you know, he does some other things.
Oh, not Ash. You're thinking of the other one.
The other one.
Oh,
the other
whatever
one.
his
Yeah,
face
whatever
is.
the fuck he did.
That face.
But I'm saying that the various colonists get a little bit of screen time and a bit of development.
Yeah.
There's the shabby interloper. He gets a bit of development. You know.
There's also the Joe of the colonists.
Joe of the colonists.
By the way, possibly the only female among the colonists? Was there only one woman? And that woman is actually just a girl.
I think there were 2.
I say just a girl. I mean, a child.
I think there were 2.
Oh, maybe
I might
there
be
were 2.
Remembering. I think
no, maybe I'm probably wrong.
Maybe by the 21st century, they figured out a new way to procreate.
Yeah. I can see Ash carrying a child. Yeah, well, anyway. Okay. I agree. Everyone, there was a little bit more substance to the other characters. Also, we had possibly an equal level of complexity in the 4-episode ones, but then not enough time. And it just felt like, fuck it, this is 2 serials, just split it in half. In this one, no, this was 1 serial.
This was 1.5 serials.
Yeah, okay, so maybe it was a little bit too elaborate at times, but in general, I'm okay with it.
There was one specific element that is too much, but otherwise, yes, this is a coherent, if a little bit complicated, but that's fine. You know, we don't need to be dumbed down to. It was a bit complicated.
Yeah,
the various machinations of either group, or all 3.
I mean, the fact that they suddenly involved human bureaucracy, that's pretty amazing, right? I mean, just even as a concept, someone had that idea. Someone went, maybe we should tie in the bureaucracy of post-environmental apocalyptic Earth. You know, why isn't that a thing?
And it all made loads of sense, actually. All the motivations were really clear, other than the Masters. Like, we need a new place to live, because Earth is shitty. Cool. Earth is shitty, and it needs more stuff to build on it. That's why people are going to pay us top dollar for this thing that we found. Yeah. Tension. Great. And there's people that already live on said fucking planet.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, it's Pocahontas.
Or Avatar.
Which is just blue Pocahontas.
Yeah. Or the North Dakota pipeline.
Yes. Okay, so I've got a question for you.
Of course you do.
Can you explain to me how you distract a telepath with very childish sleight of hand?
Think it? You just like very strongly think of the... no, there's no way.
There's no way. We've just established almost in the same scene, these people are telepathic. They can read your mind. And it's just like, right, he's not going to know that I'm going to Venusian karate chop the guy or Venusian Aikido chop the guy in the neck. And instead it's like, oh, I made my thumb disappear. I've got a coin behind my ridiculously useless assistant's ear. No, that really baffled me.
It didn't make sense. But then lots of their interactions, I think, didn't make lots of sense. But
okay, here's another one. All right, so wouldn't it be great if when he meets the Guardian, when the Doctor meets the Guardian, and he keeps sirring the Guardian, wouldn't it be great if at one point he goes, thank you, sir. You have the most wondrously civilized society here, sir. And the Guardian just goes, I'm a lady.
I would have loved that. Why are you assuming my gender?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that very much. Also, if it's like, he played great difference to the Guardian. It's like, well, the justice and stuff. And that. Although, as an aside, why did you build a galaxy ending?
Oh my God, that didn't know me. No, absolutely.
How enlightened are you?
In episode 6, I've written here, I'm just scouring my notes for something clever to say. I'm not finding much, but I did write in episode 6 on this topic. Oh, so there was a WMD. I no longer sympathize with the indigenous race. It seems like a bad idea to leave a WMD in the hands of these chaps. I mean, they're basically Mayans if Mayans wrote Dianetics.
Well done for sidestepping the Iraq. Yeah, this is fucked up.
It is really fucked up.
It's like the Crab Nebula, we did that. Why?
What? Wait, what?
They did that, yeah.
Yeah, I know. But it's like, whoa.
Why? Why did you do that?
Just to test it. I mean, it was their Alderaan.
Well, no, that's the other issue. It's like, so you were on a planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with you so far.
Okay. On a planet. And things are going really well. We're really advanced. We've got stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. We have enemies on our planet. So I'm over here, you're over there. We got beef.
Yeah.
Cool.
So now you build a thing that can destroy entire planets.
Planets we can't get to.
Yeah, but the plan is, here's the plan. If you don't behave, it's like the nuclear deterrent, but it's like really extreme.
It's really external.
So it's like, if you don't behave, I'm going to get into this ship, I'm going to go really far away, and then I'm going to blow up our home.
Or, ultimately, if you don't behave, I'm going to blow up Orion, and he's your favourite constellation.
What, you want another Crab Nebula?
Ah!
Yeah.
I'm going to write Leon sucks in the sky in dead stars. Why did they do this? What was this for?
At some point, they were just the most malevolent bastards.
Yeah, well, clearly. Or they had a really powerful telescope, and on the other end, there was just one kid giving them the V signs,
Fuck you guys,
flipping them off.
Fuck you with your external brains.
And as we go forth, our path is clear. We need to construct a universe-ending gun to fuck that kid up. I take it back. Everyone's motives are not clear.
Not quite.
Can you imagine in Pocahontas or Avatar, if someone's just like, yes, well, the military, a military industrial complex, and we're just here trying to love Mother Earth. Also, we made this real big gun.
Yeah?
We're going to fuck some people up with it, apropos of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't really fit with the narrative you guys being a lovely, peaceful, symbiotic...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not entirely divorced from reality, though, is it? I mean, there are maybe like a couple of centuries in between those steps, but in general, it kind of, it works out, doesn't it? Everyone isn't exactly what they purport to be.
Well, yes, quite. And
these people, whatever they're called, Euxarians, that species, before they somehow weirdly devolved into 3 separate species, the fact that they then devolved into 3 separate species also included them turning themselves into, doesn't even the Doctor say, they turned into some sort of freakishly scientific cult or whatever, like a cult of science. He says they're crazy religious zealots, basically.
Right.
He says this. He says the scientists became priests. They are now,
right.
They're religious zealots. They abandoned logic and they embraced the idea that they were gods. And that was it. And now the primitives who don't have the intellect, they view the scientists as priests, and the priests themselves, they just abuse that authority. They abuse the power.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, great. But what I'm saying is, It's fine that they're lying, right? It's fine that there are shits in the background. That's okay.
It is fine they're lying, I guess. Like you said, it does take away from the sympathy aspect.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, for the longest time, I was just thinking, these poor people, they're just slaves. They are literally just slaves, and they're working for scraps.
Although you might say that this was probably a few generations ago.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But at that point, I hadn't seen them anyway. I just saw there's that scene where, is it Ash? I think it's Ash who's showing the Doctor around one of the domes. Beautiful domes, by the way.
Love a good dome.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we had a conversation before we pressed record, ladies and gents, if we were dome or shed men. And
it's hard to tell.
Everyone likes a good dome. Anyway, let's get back to the domes in a bit. But there's that scene where Ash is showing Doc around a dome, and all of a sudden, hey presto, one of the Uxarians just plops into frame, and he tells the Uxarian, don't attack him, he's a friend. And everyone is super nonplussed by it. Like, everyone's just, oh yeah, I guess there are aliens on this planet. Like, there's an indigenous population. Fuck it, I don't know where I'm going with this. At that point, anyway, it seemed like they were so incredibly primitive that everyone but Ash was the only one who was treating them with respect, so to speak. He was like, yeah, well, we need to feed them or whatever. But everyone else was just treating them like garbage. Yeah. And I strongly sympathized with them.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get at, is that this is essentially or that portion is the allegory of an oppressed Aboriginal people, right? Like, this happened throughout our history.
Absolutely.
Except none of those had
nuclear devices, not even nuclear, like...
Yeah, no,
in extremis.
So it turns out the Aboriginals in Australia,
Ayers Rock is just full of...
They plotted to blow up the moon. That was just part of their bag.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't part of the history. Yeah.
A Doctor Who sciencey question. So there's that one bit when, in the very beginning, episode 1, they dematerialize, and they're now on their way to Uxarius. And the Doctor he goes, listen, we're outside the space-time continuum. Look! And then he points at, like, a Commodore running Pac-Man. Why are they outside the space? What? Like, is this not what normally happens when he travels through space and time? He says we are outside of the space-time continuum.
Well, because we've been privy to this in New Who. There's something called the Void.
Yeah.
But he doesn't travel into the Void.
No.
It's impossible to travel into the Void.
Except if you have a Void ship, or if you're a Cyberman, or if you're a Dalek, or if the plot is served by it, or, yeah.
Yeah, or if you're Mickey Ricky.
Exactly. Or Rose. Or if you can jog. Or if you're a Jav.
Or if you just want to. You can't go there unless you really want to, and then go nuts.
Yeah. We've also had, on Classic Who, we have had occasions where the Doctor has left our dimension. Well, not our, he's left time in a way.
Now, I need a physicist for this, but so the universe is a closed system, or could be described as a closed system.
Sure.
Within which are dimensions. Is that right?
Wait, so hang on. Oh, wow. This is a different podcast, and this is two laymen discuss science.
Yeah, but before the universe, or the genesis of the universe, so space, matter, and time all came into existence at the same point.
Yes. Okay.
So anything outside of that is outside of the universe and do you know what I'm saying?
Well, you're talking about 4 dimensions. Yeah. 4 dimensions came into existence at the same point.
Yeah. So if you're outside that, you're outside of anything that is just
trust me, I'm an expert.
Governed by the natural laws, right?
I suppose. Yeah, I mean, that sounds sensible.
So you've left the universe.
Yeah. So far, in the Whoniverse, when you leave the universe, what you do is you encounter Rapunzel. So
maybe
this is where I'm kind of checking out a little bit.
Yeah, someone smarter than us help.
Yeah, please pitch in. Okay, soundbite time. A wonderful one from episode 1.
Don't believe it. It's bigger inside than out.
Yes. That's because the TARDIS is dimensionally transcendental.
What does that mean?
It means that it's bigger inside than out.
I like that.
That's a really good one. That's a very, very good one. Okay. Do you want another soundbite?
Mm-hmm.
From episode 2, 135, another classic Doctor one.
Are you some kind of scientist?
I'm every kind of scientist.
What are the... I'm just thinking... I remember thinking, what are all the different types of scientists? Like... An epidemiologist? Are you like a...
Dermatologist, biologist, geologist... He is every kind of... I mean, he is. He knows everything, right? Totally. He's a massive know-it-all.
Yeah.
Like a literal know-it-all. Okay, another soundbite. Episode 2, 1730.
Oh, here we go again.
Don't worry, Jim will fix it.
Yes. I thought we might go through this whole review without really talking about this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have brought it up.
Well, no, I thought, should I bring this up in the B scale? Or not? Now, Americans or non-British people.
Oh, God.
Think much, much worse Bill Cosby.
Yeah, much, much worse. He had a TV show. His name was Jimmy Savile. He had a TV show called Jim Will
Jim
Fix
will
It.
fix it.
It was sort of, I mean, wasn't it sort of a, but I've never seen it. I've only heard of it. It's sort of legendary in this country.
Yeah,
in a way.
it really was.
Wasn't it sort of a budget version of, like, the Make-A-Wish Foundation?
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't always kids with, like, you know, that had illness or something. It's sometimes it'd be like, you'd write in and be like, Jim, I was hoping to, you know, lead the Nottingham Forest team out on, you know, on Saturday, and he'd sort that out.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's where the budget stuff would come on. It'd all be eminently doable stuff. You know, like, I want to know what makes London Bridge work. Like, you know, like, whatever. And then he'd take you on a thing about the London Bridge. But anyway, it turns out he was abusing all those kids.
Yeah, he was a pedo fuckface. Anyway, so here's where it turns into circular trivia in a way.
It's clear to say that this is basically the period where Jimmy Savile was the height of his powers. The man basically was a BBC god.
Yeah.
At this specific time.
Sort of. I've now seen something else, actually, that isn't entirely... That seems to...
Is that contrary?
Yeah, that seems to say that it hadn't started yet, but this must be a reference to it, right? So it must be, at the very least, in pre-production. Shortly thereafter, there was... I mean, I say shortly thereafter, this is... when is this? In 1975. We have the very first Jim Will Fix It Doctor Who crossover, in which they do something with a Dalek. Some kid probably asked to see a Dalek.
Oh, God.
And then shortly thereafter, with the chap we've met, with Colin Baker, there was something called A Fix with Sontarans, which was another, like a proper crossover in which, Sontarans appeared on the show. So anyway, so we've spent way too much time on this thing, but this is the BBC referencing another BBC property, and,
Yes.
Basically, we've just now talked a long way around the UK equivalent of a Cosby joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think Pertwee and Delgado liked each other?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I reckon they did.
They hung out?
I reckon they did. They have awesome chemistry. I can see them as friends. I believe the characters as friends in a way, and I reckon that there's something behind it.
Can you imagine going for a pint with Delgado, though? He'd be like, I'll have a pint of the bitter, and he'll have a cup of virgin's blood. Look at that fucking goatee. Can you imagine him being your granddad? Like, it'd be scary as shit.
Okay, got another one.
Hit me.
We get the sonic screwdriver again in this one. And he uses the sonic screwdriver not as a screwdriver, he uses it as a scanner of sorts.
Ooh, so is this the first...
It might be.
Non-screwdriver app? Because he'd used it a couple of times to screw things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this one, he uses it to detect where the alarm beam is, which Joe then just blocks for no reason whatsoever. But yeah, pretty cool. Mud wrestling?
Mud wrestling? I have no opinion on the mud wrestling.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Well, I think that's probably everything I had. Anything more, Leon, before we jump into reviews?
Wait, hang on, sorry, I have to... how can we not point out that they have tearaway paper calendars? Isn't that great?
That is, I mean...
It's like, oh, what year is it? Pan to the side, tearaway paper calendar. I'm just gonna pull a piece of paper off, it says 2472. Oh yeah, that's the one.
Now, calendars don't work like that. Like, if it was already 24/7, it's like, has someone been...
It's like April 14th.
Yeah, it's like...
24/72.
That's it, yeah. It's like someone just like, man, it's been April 24/72 for 6 months now. Get your shit together, Stuart.
Why in the middle of the day does that character, can't even remember who it was, tear a piece of paper off the calendar? The fact that there is one is so wonderful. They had to ham-fist just the mention of which year it was at some point in the serial, but they could just have someone say it.
Yeah.
They
Which
did.
They did, eventually.
Yeah, so why create this redonkulous prop?
I don't know.
It's the best.
It was good.
It is the best.
And now it is time to rate this. Did we laugh or hate this? Bing bong, hey, la 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 la. Ratings.
A little bit too much went on in this serial. However, I wasn't as disturbed by Delgado's presence as you were, and I was quite impressed by some of the stuff that they forced into this, even though it's something that you encounter across not just sci-fi, well, sci-fi in particular, and certainly Doctor Who, the whole Pocahontas narrative. I liked seeing it again. I thought it worked. And I'll probably rewatch this serial at some point. I'm going to give it a 2.3. Yeah.
That's low.
Yeah? Oh, that's low?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that generally setup was good. Trajectory and narrative was good. I liked that there was the mining company, but they had complications. There was internal struggle there with whatever his name was, Caldwell. There was the colony. They had internal struggles. There was the Aboriginals. There's trying to meet them to negotiate. There was an Earth with a governance that made fucking sense and, issues. And then the fucking master comes and goes, what a lovely narrative you got here. It's a shame if someone comes and shits all over it. So actually, I was pretty happy with that, so it loses master points for me.
Okay.
But it had all the things I liked. The colony was good and well set up, and
I feel like the 2.3 is
the miners had like a really fucking horrible uniform, which was awesome, and like an Aryan fucking prince leader.
Oh, yeah.
He was a douchebag, and he looked like one, and he dressed like one. That was cool. I'm giving this a solid 2.8.
2.8.
Losing master points for me.
Okay, nice. All right. Oh, I feel like my 2.3 is a little bit low. Fuck it, I'm going to stick with it. Nice. Shall we go into Listener Minis?
Let's.
Listener Minis.
Okie dokie, we have 3 Listener Minis. Actually, we have 1 Listener Maxi and 2 Listener Minis. In chronological order, the first one comes from Paul Forber. Hello, Paul.
How you doing, Paul?
Paul has, as usual, sent us a fantastic synopsis, but he has also this time tagged on a little bit more of a mini review. I don't know why I'm getting so squeaky over here. So we're gonna read out part of his review. For its full splendor, please go to whobackwhen.com and read it in its entirety.
So Paul says, sadly, using the Brigadier and unit strictly for comedy made them and their leader look silly. The scene where Joe marvelled at the TARDIS being bigger on the inside than on the outside was handled much more deftly. The Doctor told her the TARDIS was dimensionally transcendental, and his tossing off this term as both its meaning and explanation were simultaneously nonsensical and wonderful.
Paul goes on. Writer Malcolm Hulke believed the decision confining the Doctor to 20th century Earth left Doctor Who 2 basic plots and 4 alien invasion stories and 3 about mad scientists. Later, he broke the new format temporarily. Colony in Space took the Doctor and Joe far away from Earth for the first time as the Time Lord's occasional compulsory agents. This outstanding decision proved the Doctor could be freed from his exile, reopening the show's limitless canvas for storytelling. Producer Barry Lett's team, though, had not previously filmed the TARDIS taking off or landing. Oh, this is going to explain it. So in this serial, both the Doctor and the Master's TARDIS suddenly appeared and vanished rather than slowly fading in and out while the familiar wheezing, groaning noise sounded. And he concludes saying getting the Doctor away from Earth was fantastic, and the Master's use in this story during a season that overused him helped make this serial a highlight.
That's very insightful, Paul.
Yeah, lovely. Lovely stuff.
I want you to put a number on it. I want to know what the number, what's your what's all of your wonderful thoughts and opinions expressed as an
boil it down to quantify it. Yeah,
between 0 and 5.
Paul, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen of Podcast Land who are not Paul, you can follow Paul on Twitter. He is at Wordsmith Paul. Cool. Next up, we have Peter Zunich.
What up, Pete?
Yo, yo, yo!
So, Peter writes, despite my being bored with this story, every other time I watch it, I look on it favourably overall. Perhaps I'm only saying this because this time was one of these times I enjoyed it. Sure, there's a good amount of repetitiveness and a good amount of repetitiveness, but the story is somewhat engaging. This is definitely one that could have been a more successful 5-part story and possibly even shrunk down to 4 without injury.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
Peter goes on, the characters are decent with a fair share of people to like and people to despise, but apart from Dent, no one truly shines until the Master's quite welcome and unexpected arrival. We're on the same page, Peter. Peter goes on, there are solid performances across the board, but nothing truly outstanding. This production, more than many of this time, does suffer from looking rather dated, with 70s hairstyles and future 70s costumes. The ships and the primitives, however, are a true standout, and it's sad they're never used again. While the Puppet Man was still lacking, at least we can say it was better than the ones used in Blake 7, which was made years after this.
Retro rewrites. I'd love to have seen more about life in the colony and the hardships they endured in starting it. Could also have gotten a funeral scene to show the impact of the fighting on the colony. Also, I'd I'd rather have trivial padding than monotonous repetition of all the dialogue, scenes and plot points. Production could have used a boost from some more outdoor locations as well. Would it have killed anyone to use the failing crops or more of the ruins? Oh, did I mention it's repetitious? With some goofy moments, a rushed climactic scene, a race all too willing to kill themselves after eons of life.
Yeah.
And clearly, right? Yeah. And some wild rides in a buggy and series holds attention, but other than costumes, not going to leave any lasting impressions or make the entire audience want to come back for more. So I give this one a male mud wrestling 2.3.
Ka-ching! Ka-ching!
You feel very validated by Peter.
I do. Oh, thank you so much, Peter, because I was feeling really bad there for a moment. And the mud wrestling! The mud wrestling!
The mud wrestling.
Oh, the mud wrestling.
Yeah, it's like, we don't mind dying. Pull that lever, please. I meant to pull it for years, but my tiny arms won't let me.
I live in a cupboard in the wall, please. end my suffering.
I was stuck in this Murphy bed years ago. I'm not even supposed to be here. Why did we make these controls for limbs clearly much larger than mine?
All right. We have one more. This one comes from Tracy from America. Yeah.
Tracy is new to classics.
She is new to classics.
Old to new, but new to classics.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah. Hello, Tracy.
Hey, Tracy. So, Tracy writes, hey guys, bet you didn't expect to see me here in the classics.
We weren't.
How's it going, Ponkin? And probably Nick. Definitely Nick.
Hello. Also definitely me. What the fuck, man?
Well, she says Ponkin as a definitive article. I finally caught up with you, so you may be hearing from me on some of these oldies.
Nice.
Okay, what the hell is Jo wearing round her middle? Is it one of those things from the 80s? I'm going to call a belly pack. It's a bum bag there, Tracy. Oh, snap. Is Jo really from the future? Oh, wait. It's just a hideous belt.
Tracy goes on, pretty good mud fights in the last episode. Nice. I cannot think of a single mud fight I've ever seen that was better. This is something I've truly been missing from all the fast-paced, high-action content modern shows deliver. My last thought is simply this. Watching the old episodes for the first time alongside New Who's Capaldi/Missy dynamic is quite interesting. I'm still deciding how I feel about the Master as a character. Rating? Here's mud in your eye.
Which I reckon is like a 2.8.
Really?
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
Someone to agree with me.
That is awesome. Tracy, thank you so much for sending that in, and welcome to the classics.
Welcome. Why do our listeners right now hate numerous?
Ladies and gentlemen who are not Tracy, you can follow Tracy on Twitter. She is at Yekatnyatnuf. That's Fountain Tracy, backwards.
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. I think that might be it. What have we got next, Nick?
The next classic Who is The Damon.
Dang right it is.
And the next new Who is?
The Waters of Mars.
That one's terrible, if memory serves.
It's both good and bad. It's one of those.
It is medium.
Yeah. Parts of, sorry, spoiler alert, parts of Waters of Mars are actually just like, oh wow, yeah, love it. And then other parts are just, someone please help me harakiri myself. Like, this is the worst shit I have ever seen.
Cool. Wait for that.
Really looking forward to it.
Next Sunday.
In the meantime, people can follow you on Twitter, can they not?
They can. At Nicolele. It's mostly been political rant at the moment, but I'll get back to Doctor Who. And they can follow you. I am at Ponkin. Yeah, you know how to spell that, probably. Until the next time, be rad and excellent to each other. Thank you so much for listening. Rock on and ciao. Bye. Kablamo! Did you enjoy the show? Then please do what the cosmos compels you to and spread the gospel of Who Back When. Tell your friends. Don't have any friends? No problemo. Tell some strangers. Like us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Who Back When, all in one word. Are you on Google Plus? Then find us on Google Plus. That's plus Who Back When. And when you do, tell us why you're on Google Plus. Who Back When just got its very own Twitter account, no lie, so give us a follow. You guessed it, that's at Who Back When, all in one word. Check us out on SoundCloud, vote us up on Reddit, listen to us on Stitcher, and head on over to our website, whobackwhen.com, where you can leave a comment, submit a review of your own, and peruse of visual index of aliens, monsters, and more, which increases in kablamos with every episode. And lastly, give us a rating and review on iTunes. Not only would it make us super chuffed, and it really, really would, but as thanks, we will transmigrate your
your iTunes nom de plume into the credit list of trailers for fake Doctor Who audiobooks produced by Who Back When. Have a poke around our bonus episodes to make more sense of that. That's it. Rock on and be rad and excellent to each other. Catch your earballs in our next classic Who review, new Who review, or, still funny, audio Who review. Ciao.
Who Back When?